Blessings to everyone on this evening here. Today I'm going to be putting together broccoli casserole. I'm going to be making a small pan of broccoli casserole with my, I have 4 cheeses that I'm going to add to my broccoli casserole. So let's get started and let's see how that turns out. Okay, so I have my broccoli here. I have the whole fresh broccoli. Rinse off real quick here. I just went ahead and just purchased some broccoli, some fresh broccoli, because you can also use the frozen broccoli, but I decided to go ahead and use the fresh broccoli. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down and just add it to the bowl here. Just break them apart here. Just cut off all the thick parts of the stem there. And just break your broccoli down. Make a nice little pan of broccoli casserole. I just want to say thank everyone for their prayers and their support here on my channel. Thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys subscribing and joining in with me while I'm cooking my meals. So let's get the broccoli all cut down nice and evenly here. Get this big clump out of there. Nothing to it to make broccoli casserole. Just want to get the big stems out of there. Cut it down. That's good right there. I'm going to add it to my bowl and see how much I got. Alright, so I'm going to use one more thing of broccoli here. I'll rinse my broccoli off real good. I think I'll use the big one here. Fresh broccoli. See how much I get out of this here. See if I need the other one. So I'll just sit that in water. Sit that in water just in case. I have some salt water here in a bowl that I went ahead and just cleaned the broccoli off. So we'll just add it to our dish here. I think this will be enough. This should be a nice size pan of broccoli casserole here. Stem off of there. It makes it easier to cut once you get the stem down. Cut all off real good. Okay, I think that's a nice. I'll go ahead and use the rest. Yeah, I'll go ahead and fill the bowl on it. Get this washed up. Just cut that down. Don't want to overload it because I still have my cheeses to add. Without the stems, it made it much easier to place into my dish here. Okay, so now that we have that already in there, let's get this big one off of here. Don't want too much of the stem in. So, okay, now that we have that done, I can go ahead and start my cheeses and show you my different cheeses that I do have. Okay, I have some Gouda cheese. I'm going to just use half of that. I'm going to cut that down and use half of the Gouda cheese. Because it's such a small pan, so I don't need too much cheese. But you still want the great taste of your broccoli. So I also have Colby Jack cheese. So I'm just going to add half of that in as well. Let me get my knife. Just open this up with my knife here. I mean my scissors here. Excuse me, guys. So I just go ahead and use half of this here too as well. So that's Colby Jack, and I have Gouda cheese. I just used half of each of those. And I have some extra sharp that I'm going to use all of that. The whole container of the extra sharp. So I'll just go ahead and cut my cheese down and get that ready to go in a bowl before I mix it into my broccoli. Then put that there for the time being. So I'll just chop my cheese down. And I'll just dice it down some more. And you have your fresh cheese in there, finely cut. And you'll have cheese all through your casserole. This cheese is nice and soft here. Okay, this is very time consuming, but it's worth it. Okay, so now I'll add that to a bowl, and I'll get all my other cheeses cut up, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I have my cheese cut up. I have my 3 cheeses cut down real good, and I have 1 beaten egg that I have mayonnaise, I have some seasonings that I'm going to add, and the kick is going to be onion soup mix. I'm just going to add a packet of that in as well. So I'm going to add that in now so that can be on my broccoli. Okay, that's 1 packet of onion soup mix. And I have 1 onion that I'm going to add in as well, a half an onion. Rather, not one whole onion. I'm just going to add a half of an onion in. Chop down real fine. So let's make some room for that here. Cut that down. Can't forget your onion. Let me get that cut down and I'll be back. Okay, now that I have my onion peeled, I'm just going to slice them down in real tiny slices. And this is where the flavor lies, with the onions and that soup mix. That's half of a medium-sized onion. I have my soup mix in there, and I have my onion cut up. So now I'm just going to drizzle my egg, my beaten egg, one whole egg, beaten in, and I have some mayonnaise. Tablespoon of mayonnaise. Get all that out of there. I'm going to get my money's worth. Okay, now that we have our mayonnaise in, that gives it a beautiful taste there, the mayonnaise. So you want to make sure you get that in there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and mix that together as good as I can with the egg and the mayonnaise, along with the seasonings from my onion soup mix. Now I'm going to take and go ahead and add some garlic powder. Maybe 2 nice tablespoons of garlic powder. And I have some soul food seasoning. And I'm just going to drizzle some on there too. That's maybe 3 tablespoons of soul food seasoning. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and add my onions. I'm going to break them down and add that on there. May not even need the whole half of an onion, but I'm going to get it in there. Yeah, that's where the flavors come from, the onions. Okay, so now that I have my onions in, let's see how much cheese we can get in this dish. Let's get all the onions in there, because that's where the flavor is, in the onion. Okay, so let's get our cheese in there. Here's my Gouda cheese. I'm just going to put that in there. And my Kobe Jack. Let's just cut this down some more. That's my Gouda and my Kobe Jack. And just place that in there before mixing it in together. Just make sure you get all the cheese in. And now I'll just go ahead and mix it as good as possible. Get it all mixed in there so the cheese can melt down inside of the broccoli. And you get cheese all in your broccoli there. I'll set my oven to 350. And I'll just let this bake for a good 35 to 45 minutes. Depends on what size dish that you have. You just used twice as much cheese and seasoning, 2 eggs, and you got yourself some broccoli casserole there. So now that I got my cheese all mixed in, it's all the way through, I'm going to go ahead and add my sharp cheddar. I'm going to put in half and then mix it in with it as well, and then add it on top. And I'm going to go ahead and put some good old mozzarella on top of there as well that I'm going to cut down and add into my broccoli casserole as well. Looks gorgeous. So I'll go ahead and mix this in too. So we'll have that sharp cheddar mixed in with the other two cheeses. And we have ourselves a casserole. Once we bake and them cheeses get into there, we get our moisture in from the baking with the cheese. And we got ourselves a nice pan of broccoli casserole. We have our onions all mixed in there real good. It's a nice sized bowl. So now I'll go ahead and add the rest of my cheese right on top. And we have cheese all through our casserole. Cut this down a little bit more here because we want our cheese to bake down into the casserole. Last one. I cook with love, and the food comes out great. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add some provolone as well. I'm just going to chop down some provolone and add that on top as well. It gives it a good melt down for your broccoli casserole. So I just have some Sargento's provolone cheese. I'm only going to need maybe 3 nice slices that I'm just going to cut in half. Maybe not half. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this to make sure that the cheese is melted down on top there and give it that provolone taste on every cut. So I'm just going to take my provolone and I'm just going to form it on top of my broccoli casserole. And you get cheese in every bite. Once that bakes down and melts, that cheese melts into that broccoli with those flavors, you're good. So I just get my cheese in there. Make one more row here. Ooh, no, I didn't lose it. Lord have mercy. Let me get that up. I don't want to forget. Got the other one too. Excuse me, guys. Lord have mercy. Okay, let me just get another one out. Cheese cut down. Just want to make make sure we got that mozzarella on top of there. And that'll melt down and give it a nice look when you set it at the table. Okay? I don't want to waste the ones that I already had cut. So I'm just going to add them on top of the one that are already cut down. And I have my broccoli casserole. You can add the seasonings that you like into your dish. Okay, just sit that baby there. Alright, so now I'm just going to take and go ahead and sprinkle some paprika right in between the cheeses. And I have my broccoli casserole. I'll let that bake for 35 to 45 minutes. Place that in the oven, and I'll be back. I'm back, guys, and here's my broccoli casserole. I baked in the oven at 350 for at least 35 minutes, and all the cheese melted down. The broccoli's nice and flavorful, and I have a nice pan of broccoli casserole to go with my meal. In the kitchen with Chef Carl, guys. God bless you.